I've been looking at getting a computer for a while now, and one that I've been looking at a lot is different models of a Mac. I've been looking at the iMac, the iMac Pro, the Mac Pro. I've been looking at all those different models, and I just came across a story the other day where iMac Pro base model is officially being discontinued. They said that it's only going to be listed as while supplies last. So they haven't officially confirmed that it's discontinued, but they're not going to be making any more. They're not adding any more to the supply. And according to the article, according to the report, they say that right now it's only going to be the models available in stores that they have in supply. This really isn't a surprise. They did roll out their new version of the iMac, and really you can configure that to do anything that the iMac Pro would have been able to do. They said that a lot of people, at first, they thought the iMac Pro was going to be designed for professionals and people who need to work on computers all the time. But really, the iMac is capable of doing anything you need if you just modify it on the website. You can configure it any way you want. So on the website, they still have the iMac Pro, the iMac, and the Mac Pro still available on the website. So you can still check all of those out. They are expected, though, to introduce a new model later this year. They're expected to do a revamp of all the Macs, potentially without the bar on the bottom. Like, they're probably going to get rid of that bar with the Apple logo on the bottom of the screen, make it like a full screen without any metal on the bottom. So that is what's expected this year. But right now, if you do want to get the iMac Pro, it is only while supplies last. They aren't doing any more, and really they haven't made any major updates to the iMac Pro since it was first launched back in 2017. It was launched for gaming, VR, high-end editing, and graphics works, but really the new iMac that was just released in August is capable of doing everything that the iMac Pro is, and that's really the most popular one right now. The iMac is the most popular version because people could just customize it however they want, and you don't need the iMac Pro. It's really not needed anymore. The base model still, if you're looking to get it, is $4,999, and if you are looking to get something like me, I'm looking to get a couple new computers for the business, and I might wait a little bit. I might wait to see after they do the revamp. They come out with new models probably later this year. But we'll wait and see. It still could be a good time now to check these out if you do want an iMac Pro. But they will be discontinued. Here's another story is with Ford. Ford recalled some of their first Mustang Mach-E SUVs. This is their first electric vehicle out there, and they recalled them because of loose bolts in a number of models. They said that the problem is that their supplier did not tighten the bolts to the specifications that they told them. And while the issue is not Ford's fault, it's not their standards, the company is they need to make sure they put precautions in place. They tell customers, they recall them, because even though the supplier did mess up, they didn't tighten the bolts, it's still their fault at the end of the day. So they need to make sure that they recall these. They said they will start reaching out to customers beginning on March 22nd of 2021. So they said in total, 1,258 Mustang Mach-E's are affected in the US, 90 are affected in Canada, but a majority of these vehicles have not yet been shipped out to customers, so they're going to be able to fix it before most customers get it in their hands. They said fewer than 75 customers who have already taken delivery will have to bring their Mustang Mach-E back in to get fixed. Other than that, most people won't affect. But this is a little concerning. Not so concerning, but the Mustang Mach-E is their flagship electric vehicle, and to have some issues with it right off the bat, obviously we know there's always going to be product quality issues, especially when making something new, but they are just getting these rolled out. They're trying to compete with Tesla, and you just don't really want to see It's good that no one's going to get hurt. No one has been injured or affected because of this. But you want to see that they're addressing these problems right away. And they are, so that's good. The company in total has delivered about 4,000 Mustang Mach-E's. And they're expected to deliver another 4,500 very soon. They want to make sure the quality of those goes through all the inspections, make sure all these bolts are tightened, make sure that there's no other checks that they might have missed. And yeah, we'll see how this continues to go. It is a car that is competing with the Tesla SUV. It is taking market share away from them, and it's doing well, but they are recalling some. Out of their first 4,000 delivered, they're already starting to recall some of them because of some product quality issues. Makes sense. Tesla had a bunch of issues when they first started, so it's not going to be uncommon for all these new electric vehicles to be recalled at some point because of product quality issues. But speaking of electric vehicles, Elon Musk came out the other day and putting out some comments to GM, Chrysler, other car manufacturers in the US, and he said that Tesla and Ford are the only American car makers not to have gone bankrupt out of the thousands of car startups. He said prototypes are easy, production is hard, and being cash flow positive is excruciating. And he was basically calling out all these other US car makers, basically saying how Tesla has been doing better than them. And Ford CEO liked this a lot. He responded by saying respect. That's it. He just retweeted it saying respect. Ford has been very proud of the fact that they have never gone bankrupt, even when all the other car manufacturers in the US did. That is one thing that they were very proud of. And obviously, Elon Musk thinks pretty highly of it as well. In the past, I've heard a lot about Elon Musk talking about times when Tesla was really struggling in terms of cash flows, and that they potentially could have gone bankrupt years ago when they were first getting started. They had a lot of production quality issues, and it just takes a lot of capital to get a car company off the ground. So Tesla, obviously, Elon Musk calling out some other car companies, seeing what drama he can stir up. It's nothing new. He's always doing that. So we'll see what happens there, if anything else comes out of this. But Elon Musk and Tesla are continuing to add more vehicles to their lineup, they're trying to get the $25,000 vehicle out pretty soon, and that's going to really take some market share away from large manufacturers in the US, because a lot of people are going to be able to afford that $25,000 vehicle. It's not targeting the luxury market anymore. It's targeting just the broad market in general. $25,000 is pretty standard, pretty average for a car price. So when they do get that, it's going to really compete with GM, Chrysler, all the other US car manufacturers. Another story with Elon Musk is that Dogecoin creator Billy Marcus, he wants Elon Musk to literally send his Dogecoin, his crypto, to the moon on a SpaceX rocket. Inside the Dogecoin community, a lot of people are always, saying to the moon is a pretty common thing, a pretty common phrase that a lot of people say. We hear it with GameStop, with AMC. Everyone says, we're going to the moon. The stock is just going to continue to go up. But the founder and creator of Dogecoin thinks that Elon Musk should actually send his crypto to the moon. He says that he thinks having an ally like Elon Musk is pretty incredible. He says, I think it would be really cool if he does literally send Dogecoin to the moon on one of his rockets. What's his name? Billy Marcus he's 38 years old. He started Dogecoin in late 2013, and he isn't involved as much anymore as previously, but Dogecoin is a cryptocurrency that was made out of a joke. So the whole thing is a joke. It was created out of created for the memes, created as a joke. And now because of that, there's, it would be perfect fit for the actual crypto to be sent to the moon. Elon Musk has tweeted pictures in the past of the Dogecoin flag and like a dog on the moon. He's putting a flag of Dogecoin on the moon. He's done other memes where he's done so many other memes. Posted a lot of different things on Twitter about Dogecoin. It's really driven the price up per coin. And just recently, he had another tweet where he called Dogecoin. He said Doge spelled backwards is e-god. I feel like he just likes messing with this. He's come out in the past. He said it's just a joke every time he tweets it. But every time he tweets it, the Dogecoin community, I don't think they always take it as a joke. I think every time he tweets about it, the price of Dogecoin really jumps up pretty significantly. So they like that. Sending the crypto to the moon would be pretty crazy. But with Elon Musk, you could probably expect to see that happen one day, if not soon, one day in the future, something at least like that. Another piece of cryptocurrency news, though, is another first, is with Kings of Leon will be the first band ever to release an album as an NFT. And this could be pretty big for the music industry. Right now, a lot of artists, rappers, a lot of musicians have not been a big fan of all the streaming platforms like Spotify or Apple Music. They don't like Spotify as much because they don't make nearly as much money as they used to from people listening to their songs, buying their songs. It used to be that people had to buy a record or buy a song, and it could cost $20 to get one song. That's what they said. So they believe that by them doing this, that it could change the way the music industry moves in the future. He believes that streaming subscription services hurt artists, but NFTs and releasing songs and specific other content for artists as NFTs could really allow artists to own their music and benefit from it like they used to, make more money from it. He says it's still in its early stages, but in the future, they think a lot of people will release tracks like this, and when they sell, let's say, 100,000 copies of the song or album covers or whatever, well then, for $1 each, well then the artist would make $100,000. And they said that's a way where artists can monetize their content even more in the future. And I think that's right. I think we will see that a lot more. It makes sense. We're seeing LeBron selling clips of a video clip of him dunking for hundreds of thousands of dollars. We're seeing Grimes, another artist, sell NFTs for millions. I think it's going to be something we'll see more and more. Artists might release exclusive songs as an NFT. They might release, exclusive merch. There's a lot of different options that they can do. So if you want to get access to Kings of Leon and their album, it's going to be available for 2 weeks as an NFT. They have 3 different types. One type is a special album package. The second type is it offers a live show. It offers live show perks like front row seats for life. And the third type is just for exclusive audio-visual art. So there are 3 different types. The one, the special album package. The second, live show perks. And the third, which is exclusive audio-visual art. And yeah, I think this is going to change the music industry really a lot moving forward. I think we're going to see other artists do the same thing, whether that's with merchandise, with digital art, with songs. I think this will change a lot because there's a lot of money to be made here, and I don't think they're going to want to miss out on that. Speaking of cryptocurrency, well, there's some other big news there. We have a lot of crypto stuff to cover today, but China plans for the digital yuan to be released fairly soon. They've been working on this for a while, and a lot of people are worried that this could be really bad news for for Bitcoin and other cryptos right now, other private cryptocurrencies. Right now, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, they're the three major digital assets, cryptocurrencies out there. But according to analysts, they say that once a digital yuan is introduced, that's going to be one of the biggest risks for crypto that we have ever seen. They said that you might see panic selling, especially if new rules end up sucking up a lot of liquidity from trading platforms for digital coins. And Chinese officials have already started to tighten regulations on the cryptocurrency markets, and it's introducing their own digital asset could take a lot of money out of the crypto space, and it could cause people to panic sell. We're going to see this in governments, countries all across the world. Eventually, each country is most likely going to have their own digital asset, working on that themselves, and that could definitely hurt Bitcoin or Ethereum in the future. Representatives of the People's Bank in China didn't reply and say exactly when they're planning on releasing their own digital asset, what's going on there. But we do know that they've been tightening a lot of restrictions. They shut down China's Inner Mongolia cryptocurrency mining hub. They've put restrictions into place on buying it. It's not as easy to buy Bitcoin and Ethereum in China. And now the next step really is going to be introducing their own digital asset. And that could cause Bitcoin to tank if they put certain laws and regulations in place. It doesn't mean people aren't going to do it under the table, do it really without, even if they're not allowed, but it's not going to be as easy as it is right now, especially with regulations put in place. So we'll have to see what happens there. A lot of people are saying that is the biggest risk for Bitcoin right now, is when countries start implementing their own digital assets, start releasing those. And last piece of crypto news for today is with another one with Dogecoin, and this one's with Mark Cuban. So a couple days ago, Mark Cuban, he announced that the Mavericks will be accepting Dogecoin payments for tickets and merchandise simply because they can. He said that in a statement that we've chosen to do so because sometimes in business you have to do things that are fun, engaging, and hopefully generate a lot of PR. So they'll take Dogecoin today and tomorrow, and possibly they'll do this forever. So he said, for those of you who like to learn more about Dogecoin, they should talk to their kids who are on TikTok and things like that. But just a couple of days after this announcement where he said they were accepting Dogecoin, then Mark Cuban came out on Twitter and he said that the Dallas Mavericks have done more than 20,000 Dogecoin in transactions, making it the largest Dogecoin merchant in the world. He said, we thank all of you and can only say that if we sell another 6,556,000,000 Dogecoin worth of Maverick merch, then Dogecoin will definitely hit $1. I don't know if it's going to definitely hit $1, but if a lot of people are spending Dogecoin, buying merchandise and tickets with Dogecoin from the Dallas Mavericks, and the Dallas Mavericks just keep all the supply that they have, what everyone's paying, then there's going to be less in circulation. And it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you're talking tens of billions of Dogecoin being spent on Dallas Mavericks merch, well, then that's going to be tens of billions of Dogecoin that are not in circulation. And while Dogecoin there is no hard cap on how much can be mined, if there's just tens of billions sitting there not being traded, that will drive the price up of it. And it seems like people really like what Mark Cuban has done with this. It's obviously, even if they lose money with Dogecoin because the price goes down, they're getting a lot of press for this. And a lot of people are obviously buying tickets and merchandise for the Dallas Mavericks. And that's, another positive for them with this. I think we might see other businesses start accepting more types of cryptocurrency as well. A lot of businesses are already looking into accepting Bitcoin. We're seeing Uber looking at accepting it. A lot of other companies, Square's adding it. So a lot of companies are accepting Bitcoin. Dogecoin, on the other hand, there's not as many people pushing for. But either way, this is a big move in the right direction for digital assets and cryptocurrencies. And either way, I think we're going to continue to see more people, more businesses start to open up, start to be more open to the idea of using these digital assets to pay for products and services. But pretty interesting. Switching gears a bit, a yard sale bull was found the other day, and the guy paid like $35 for it. He sent it in to send some pictures to see how much it was appraised at, found out that it was worth up to $500,000, $500,000, could be worth even more. So in Connecticut, near New Haven, a Connecticut man bought the bull from a yard sale near New Haven last year. He said he saw this bull, it was $35. He bought it for $35, and and after getting it appraised, appraisers said it's a 15th century rare Chinese artifact worth up to $500,000. That's really insane. If you're looking at this bull, it looks like it's in perfect condition. It's nearly in perfect condition. The appraisers said that it is in very good condition. They said that there's a small little chip around on the rim of it, and there's some scuffs that are really just because it's so old, 15th century. So they said it's in very good condition. But the thing is there's none of these reported or in display anywhere in the US. There are currently, they said, only 6 of them. And most of them are in museums. They're on display in museums or in art galleries. And they're not just in a yard sale. This is like something out of a movie. But they said that this will be going up for auction, and it's going to go to the highest bidder. It could go for potentially even more than that, because there's only 6 that exist. There are only 6 that are known to exist, and they're all in museums around the world, none of them in the US. So I feel like we'll see someone in the US, either a person or a museum, end up with this, and that man's going to turn $35 into $500,000. Pretty lucky find if you ask me. But that is still really cool that you could still find things like that at yard sales that people don't even realize how much they're worth. Moving on is with Disney. Disney plans to close at least 60 stores across North America in 2021. That will make up about 20% of Disney's total 300 global retail stores, before it looks at potentially closing more, especially in Europe. I didn't even know that Disney had retail stores. I know, they have their theme parks. They sell a lot of merchandise in theme parks. They have sections in stores, let's say like Target, where they sell merchandise. I didn't know they had their own retail stores. There's never been one that I've been to. But essentially what Disney said is that because of the pandemic, they've been changing their business model a lot. It's not as important to have the brick and mortar locations. They could just focus on growing their e-commerce presence, making it easier for people to purchase stuff on their website, on their app, and that's where things are going. So they said while they are going to be laying off quite a few people from this, it's just these stores are no longer needed. They're not beneficial to the company. It's much better for them just to work on their e-commerce offerings, selling their stuff online, working more on direct consumer options for people to buy stuff. Disney, on the other hand, though, has been doing really well, even with their closures, because of their streaming service. They've gotten tens of millions of people to sign up for this in a very short period of time. They're only behind Netflix in terms of number of subscribers. That's Disney Plus. That's become a major source of their revenue. And, it just shows that whether you're talking about movie theaters, you're talking about stores, a lot of things are just moving online or mobile. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to close some stores so they could focus more on that. But speaking of Disney, California gives the official okay for Disneyland and other theme parks to reopen April 1st, 2021 with restrictions. So Disney, their theme parks are already open. They're already available for people to go to in Florida, in Orlando. They've been open since July, but not in California. California's had much tighter restrictions, and for how they're going to roll out the reopenings for amusement parks, California said that they have a 4-tier reopening risk system based on different colors. Red is the second highest risk category. It's going to be limited to 15% capacity. Orange tier limits capacity to 25%, and yellow tier is limiting capacity to 35%. It'll be restricted to state visitors only, to in-state visitors only, so you can't be coming from out of state. And they said that Orange County, where Disneyland is currently in the highest risk purple tier, which doesn't really give them much room for reopening, but they suggest that it may be moving down to that red tier soon enough, and then they can start opening up. It's all going to depend on case rates and hospitalizations and what is going on there. But it is good news to see that they're starting to open up theme parks, especially with all the vaccinations that are getting out there. I think we'll continue to see them open up more and more. The Disneyland in Florida, Disney World, has been open for a while now, for months. It has limited capacity. Obviously, you have to wear masks, get temperature checks, things like that. But it'll bring a lot of people back to work. People like going to Disneyland. I think we will see this continue to progress, continue to open up more and more for Disney, and eventually we'll get out of state visitors being able to go as well. Shifting gears, let's get on to some stock news. The stock market has been tanking, but Cathie Wood's and ARK Invest, her ETF, has dropped 10% in a week. It wiped out all of their 2021 gains. And ARK, their flagship fund, ARKK, has tanked. Just like really everything else in the stock market. But Cathie Wood, she's come out and said that she's been saying for a while that we were going to see a big correction. That's what we're seeing right now. And especially in these disruptive innovation companies like the ones ARK Invest are invested in, those are where we're seeing the biggest downturn. Some of their holdings, their top holdings like Tesla, Square, Roku, Teladoc, Zillow, they're all down. A lot of them are down around 10 to 15% from just a week ago. Meanwhile, though, ARK Invest has been purchasing a lot of shares of these stocks. They bought like 300,000 shares of Square, 620,000 shares of Teladoc, 660,000 shares of Zoom, and they're buying up a lot more. They didn't add any more Tesla this past week. They have purchased another $120 million in Tesla. Other stocks they've been adding are Palantir, 10x Genomics, Exact Sciences, Unity Software, Beam Therapeutics. They're adding a lot more stocks. She said that this is a healthy correction. It's needed for the market, and it's just a great opportunity to buy stocks that had very high valuations. Now it's a good time to get into some of those at much lower prices. Either way, she's not changing her investment thesis. She still believes in investing in the disruptive innovation companies. They're still going to continue to do that. And a lot of these are going to be the companies 5 years from now that are going to be the Apples, the Amazons, the Google of the world. So that is what she sees with the market right now. It's that the correction was needed. Even though it's wiped out all 2021 gains, it presents a lot of good buying opportunities. And she's going to continue to buy while everything is dipping. Another investor that a lot of people like to keep track of is Chamath. Chamath officially sold off the rest of his personal stake in Virgin Galactic. He sold $213 million in his personal stake in the company. Chamath has brought a lot of companies public via SPAC mergers in 2020. He took Virgin Galactic public through a SPAC deal in 2019, and the stock had done very well. From highs that it was at about a month ago, it's dropped a lot, from a high of $62 a share down to $28 a share. So it's dropped about 50%. But he says that he's not selling it because he doesn't believe in the company, that he doesn't like it. The reason he said he is selling the rest of his personal stake in Virgin Galactic is so that he can redirect that capital into a large investment he is making towards fighting climate change. He said the details of the investment that he will be making will be made public in the next couple of months, but he remains dedicated as ever to Virgin Galactic's team, missions, and prospects. So as soon as he sold, the stock dropped about 10% once people figured out about this. He said he wanted to be open, transparent with everyone, and he doesn't want people to think he owns it if he doesn't actually own a position in it. Something's going on with Virgin Galactic is that they're continuing to delay a lot of its spacecraft testing programs. Originally, they said that they were going to have commercial space flights by the summer of 2020, and obviously that didn't happen. And now they don't expect commercial flights to begin until early 2022. Either way, he still thinks this company has a bright future, but he's looking to make some big moves, and he needs that money in order to do so. And some things that he's been working on under the radar is with more SPACs. It says that he reportedly confidentially filed for 7 more SPACs with the SEC. He raised about $3.7 billion for 5 different SPACs in 2020. And this is a big deal. A lot of people know that he has SPACs like IPOD, IPOF, IPOE, a lot of different SPACs right now. He took companies public such as Virgin Galactic, Open Door, Clover Health, and SoFi. But now he's looking to do 7 new SPACs, and we don't know what the stock ticker symbols are going to be, what companies he's looking at, but he says he does have very big plans, and that's why he's been selling some of his shares in other companies, so he has that extra capital to be able to make some big moves. The other day he said on Bloomberg how nobody's listening to Warren Buffett anymore. He said Buffett doesn't have the energy to say what he said 30 or 40 years ago, and that's okay. But basically, there have to be other people that take the mantle, that take his place, Warren Buffett's place, as being like the voice and like a leader for investors around the world. And he says that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to help the younger generation understand investing. He's trying to get people involved in investing. And this is a pretty big thing. Another 7 SPACs. So that would be a total of 12 that he would have filed. And I'm going to expect that those are going to do extremely well, as like also all of his SPACs have done very well. People, whenever he announces about a company, they want to be invested in him. So they're going to put money into his SPACs. Switching gears a bit is with the Senate. The Senate just passed the American Rescue Plan. It's a new stimulus package. And so what happened is the House of Representatives passed a $1.9 trillion stimulus package the other day. And they sent it to the House, they sent it to the Senate, but the Senate they didn't like everything in it. So they made some modifications. They increased the minimum wage to $15 per hour. They reduced the number of people who would qualify for the $1,400 stimulus check, and they made some other changes as well. But either way, the differences between the House of Representatives bill and the bill passed by the Senate is really just who qualifies for the stimulus payments. So before, it was going to be up to $80,000 for individuals and married couples for $160,000, but now it is for people who will receive a stimulus check of $1,400 have to earn less than $75,000 a year as an individual, or less than $150,000 as a married couple. Also under the bill is that it would extend unemployment benefits, boosted unemployment benefits, at $300 a week per week through September 6th. and that is who is going to be receiving the money. It's expected that this bill will pass the House of Representatives, and once it passes the House, it'll be sent off to Joe Biden, and we should start seeing stimulus checks be sent out very, very soon. Last two pieces of news. These are sort of bonus stories, but Indian farmers mark 100th day of protest with a road blockade. Thousands of Indian farmers, they've been blocking a massive expressway on the edges of New Delhi, and this was marking the 100th day of protests against agricultural laws that they say will devastate their income. India has been putting new agricultural laws into place that a lot of farmers are not happy about. They say that this is going to make it a lot harder for them. It's going to give more power to big corporations, and that they are going to continue to protest, continue to have these blockades until the government takes away the laws, they change their mind. According to the government, they see that these are necessary. They need to have these laws in place to move into the future. But farmers are not happy about it. And for the last 100 days, they have been protesting. According to Singh, one of the farmers who has been protesting, he said that we're not going anywhere and we'll fight till the end. He said that even though harvesting season will be coming up soon, that they have family, people in their cities, at their farms who can take care of harvesting for them. The government thinks that a lot of these people will return home when that happens, but all the farmers who have been protesting, they said they're going to make sure that no one's farm goes unharvested. They're going to continue to protest, and even though it's getting to be very, very hot there, it's going to reach temperatures of 113 degrees Fahrenheit where they're currently protesting. It doesn't matter. They're going to stay there until the government changes their mind. So I'll make sure to keep you guys updated on what is happening there. But last story is another bonus one with a video I saw, actually, I think on Twitter. Or a video I saw either on Twitter or TikTok, and it's with a wild Australian sheep gets sheared of 78 pounds of wool. And this sheep, it was at one point owned by someone. The sheep ran away, and this doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like, it's a little unusual to see a sheep get away from its herd. They usually like to have that herd mentality where they stay together, but this one sheep was wandering in the forest for probably years, never had been sheared, and typically sheep have to be sheared regularly, at least once a year. Otherwise, they get this buildup, and this sheep, even though it had 75 pounds of wool, it still was underweight because really it couldn't even see. It had so much in its face. It couldn't see very easily. And everything else was pretty healthy about the sheep. A little underweight. It obviously was very matted around its face. Its whole body had way too much. But once they sheared him, they got 78 pounds off. And now he's safe and settling in with other rescued sheep at a place called Edgar's Mission. This is in Australia. So good to see that this happens. I thought that video was crazy how much was on that sheep. 78 pounds of wool. That is absolutely insane. But really, that's all I got for you guys in today's episode. Covered a lot of different stuff. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like. Let me know in the comments what your favorite story was. And if you made it this far in the video, comment down below a rocket emoji. I like doing these for every video. So comment down below an emoji of a rocket. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to get your 4 free stocks, each valued up to $1,600, when you download the Webull investing app using the link down below. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.